Reports suggest that Iran and Pakistan have jointly submitted a revised proposal to the United States aimed at ending the conflict and reopening the Strait of Hormuz as regional powers intensify effort to prevent another major escalation. Here's the latest. Fresh diplomatic efforts are underway to prevent the US-Iran conflict from sliding back into a wider regional crisis. According to a Reuters report citing Pakistani sources, Iran and Pakistan have jointly submitted a revised proposal to Washington aimed at ending the war and reopening the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most important energy routes. The report says the United States is expected to respond by Sunday. The latest development comes as diplomatic activity across the region has intensified, with key powers trying to keep negotiations alive and avoid a return to full-scale fighting. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio says progress has been made in talks with Iran and suggested Washington may have something to say in the coming days.
The question is about the Iranian issue, and as I said, there's been some progress done, some progress made. Even as I speak to you now, there's some work being done. There is a chance that whether it's later today, tomorrow, in a couple days, we may have something to say. But this issue needs to be solved, as the President has said, one way or the other. Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. The straits need to be opened without tolls. They need to turn over their enriched uranium. They need to turn over their highly enriched uranium. We need to address that issue. We need to address the issue of enrichment. These are the President's points consistently. And his preference is always to deal with it in a diplomatic way. The President's preference is always to solve problems such as these through a negotiated diplomatic solution. That's what we're working on right now. But this problem will be solved, as the President's made clear, one way or the other. We hope it's done through the diplomatic route. That's what we're working on, and perhaps there'll be something to talk about on that topic while I'm here on this visit at some point.
US President Donald Trump also struck an optimistic tone, saying Washington and Tehran are getting a lot closer to finalizing an agreement. Behind the scenes, there has been a flurry of calls between regional leaders. Trump held conversations from the Oval Office with the leaders of Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, Egypt, Turkey, and Pakistan as efforts gathered pace. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi also spoke with his counterparts in Egypt, Qatar, and Oman, countries that have often played key roles in regional mediation efforts. For Pakistan, this appears to signal an increasingly prominent diplomatic role. Pakistan's military says Army Chief Field Marshal Asim Munir has concluded what it described as a short but highly productive visit to Iran, where he held high-level engagements with Iranian leadership. According to the military, the discussions resulted in what it called encouraging progress. Pakistan has repeatedly positioned itself as a bridge between regional actors in recent weeks, attempting to keep communication channels open as tensions threaten to spill over into a wider conflict. But there could also be a notable shift in Iran's negotiating position. Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ismail Baghai says Tehran wants negotiations to focus on ending the war on all fronts, including Lebanon, rather than centering discussions primarily on its nuclear program. That is significant because nuclear issues have long dominated negotiations between Tehran and Washington. The latest position may signal a broader approach, one that links military escalation, regional security, and ceasefire efforts into a single framework.
تنگه هرمز این رو من خدمتتون عرض بکنم، تنگه هرمز به آمریکا ربطی نداره. تنگه هرمز بین ما و عمان به عنوان کشورهای ساحلی باید در موردش سازوکاری تعریف بشه و البته خب ما با سازمان‌های ذی‌صلاح بین‌المللی هم در ارتباط هستیم. چند نوبت جلساتی با طرف عمانی داشتیم. با بقیه کشورها ما گفتگو می‌کنیم حتما، به خاطر اینکه ما آگاه هستیم نسبت به اهمیت این آبراه برای کل جامعه بین‌المللی. در این مرحله اولویت رو و تمرکز رو بگذاریم روی موضوعی که برای همه ما فوریت داره و اون خاتمه جنگ در همه جبهه‌ها، من تاکید میکنم به شمول لبنان.